It is finally over, as the Detroit Lions can finally take relief in the fact that former cornerback Cameron Sutton has turned himself in. We're going to talk about it in today's episode, folks, so stay tuned.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. It doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10, 5, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Lions fans, and welcome back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving in. So, here's the thing, folks. This is officially the first time I've actually directly talked about this topic, and there are a couple of reasons specifically why this is the first time I've talked about this topic. The main reason is, one, I didn't want to talk about this topic because even though in the judicial system that the United States has, it's innocent until proven guilty, I can say this right now. When I saw and read the reports that had happened as far as what Cameron Sutton had done as far as his activity, his behavior, his reaction when he found out all the news, that he had a warrant out for his arrest, I'm sorry, that's not something that innocent people do. You don't just all of a sudden go on the run and disappear for as long as he did, and then all of a sudden just decide to turn yourself into the police. So for me, the main reason why I didn't want to talk about this all that much is I didn't want to give it as much airtime as I possibly could. I know it's related to the Detroit Lions because he played for them. But past that, I didn't want to give much more airtime to this incident than what it was actually deserving of. So I figured I'm going to wait until we finally know that this guy's either been apprehended or until he has decided to turn himself in. Which, that officially finally happened like just before midnight last night. That came out like I think at about 11 o'clock, and I was like, dude, that is way too late to record a video, and I'm sure as hell not releasing it, so I'll get up early in the morning, I'll record a quick video, and I'll release my thoughts on it, which is exactly what I'm doing. The second reason why I haven't talked about it is because, well, let's be entirely fair and honest here. Even though we know what he supposedly is alleged of doing, we don't know all the facts. Again, like I said, our judicial system is based upon the premise of innocent until proven guilty. What we do know is that he is allegedly being, held to this charge that he threw out his girlfriend from a third-story window, along with some other charges. That is what we know for a fact. We don't know if he was coaxed. We don't know if he was, somehow had something going on that she might have possibly been influences to his behavior. But again, that's why I said, people that are innocent don't do what he did and decided to just disappear for freaking 2-3 weeks. That just to me is like, okay, you're just painting a really bad picture of yourself. However, though, here's what I'm going to say about this whole thing to kind of wrap it up really quickly as far as my opinion on the matter for Cameron Sutton. If there's one thing about the NFL that I have had a problem with in the past is that there are times where it seems the NFL gets extremely, heavy-handed for what I would call minor infractions versus ones that are very serious infractions and they don't necessarily do as much about. Now, again, there's not any news about whether or not he has been convicted. At this point, all he has been done has been charged. That is not exactly, that's not a conviction. So again, innocent until proven guilty. But what I can say is this. It's become a problem for me when I sit back and I keep hearing these reports about how these various NFL players are committing crimes of this nature or committing crimes, and it's like, listen, I just don't understand why. I get it. Nobody's life is perfect. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. As I've already expressed on my own channel through my comment page, my life is not perfect. But I can tell you this right now. That is no justification. That is no excuse. That is no reason for why some of these players are going out and committing these types of crimes. It's like, dude, you've got millions of dollars. You play a sport and you get paid to do it. I don't understand how in the thunder you're going out and you're committing said felonies, said misdemeanors, said crimes. Because we have had a long-standing issue in the NFL where players are committing crimes left and right, whether it's assault, whether it is, various other types of crimes. And it's just like, I don't understand how NFL players, when they can have all of this stuff going for them, just instantaneously decide, well, you know what? Because I have all of these privileges that somehow there's nothing that's going to stop me from being able to do it. And unfortunately, sometimes even our own judicial system doesn't really help because they give them slaps on the wrists or they give them warnings because of their status as Sutton players. And that to me is also a bit of a problem. I'm not trying to get political here, but all I'm simply trying to say is this. For me, the one thing I have been very grateful about ever since Brad Holmes and, Dan Campbell have become the head duo in Detroit is that the Lions have had virtually almost no instance of where players have gone off the rails, so to speak, and have committed crimes or have been alleged of committing crimes. So far, realistically, this is the only incident that the Lions have had where somebody actually committed a crime against, the judicial system. I know, obviously, the whole situation with Jameson Williams was big news last year, but Jameson Williams hadn't committed a crime. He had just done something that was not approved of by the NFL. That's not a crime. He was allowed to gamble because that is something that he was legally of age to do. It was just by the NFL bylaws that it wasn't allowed. This is a completely different nature altogether. When you throw somebody out of a window, I'm still trying to figure out how in the hell the police haven't upped the charge to attempted murder because it's like, dude, you throw somebody three stories out of a building, that's 30 feet. That's not just trying to do domestic violence. That's attempted murder in my book. So I'm surprised that the police haven't upped the charge to that. But again, I'm not part of the judicial system. I'm not a part of the political system. Right now, that is not my area of expertise, and right now, it is not something that I'm interested in getting into. But all I will say is this. I'm glad, at least in one sense, that this is finally over. Because it's like, okay, he turned himself in. Good for you. That's about the only good for you thing I can say for Cameron Sutton. You turned yourself in, albeit too little too late, but you turned yourself in. But now that he's turned himself in, now he's going to go through the entire process of, okay, they're going to gather evidence. There's most likely going to be some sort of trial of some case, and they're going to determine by a court of his peers or by deciding outside of a trial that, hey, you did this or you didn't do it. Here's your punishment. Either way, that's the end of the matter on that one. I'm just going to say this, and probably what most Lions fans are going to say at the end of this. I really don't care anymore because it's like, listen, you're no longer a part of the Lions. The Lions decided to release you. You're no longer my problem. The only reason I'm talking about this is because I know there are some Lions fans that have held an interest as to be like, okay, where is this dude? When is he going to be arrested? So that way we can kind of close the chapter, close the book on the whole ugly ordeal, and just move the hell on. Which is, again, part of the reason why I haven't talked about it up until this point, because I wanted to wait until it was officially done and over with. And at this point, it's about as close to done and over with as the Lions and the rest of the world are going to care about until if he gets a conviction or if he's not convicted. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the only time I'm really going to talk about the whole Cameron Sutton ordeal. Other than the fact that, hey, he was released, now the Lions are trying to deal with it. As far as what do they do to fill his shoes? That's exactly why in all my other videos, that's all I've ever said on the matter. This is the first and only time I'm ever going to talk about the situation for actually what the situation was and is. And as far as I'm concerned, even that's a little bit too much for me. But again, it's related to the Lions in the sense that he played. I'm going to talk about it briefly like I have, and then I'm ending it like I'm doing right now. So, having said that, this is the end of the episode, and I just want to say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage you all to watch the next episode. Also encourage you all to do one of these three things: like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If by chance you subscribed in the past and forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and you've not had a chance to do so, again, I highly encourage you all to subscribe, but I also encourage you all to make sure you turn on that bell notification icon that's also at the bottom of the page. So that way you never miss any more content that I push out. Again, subscription numbers are going up, but we want to make sure that you guys also turn on the notification icon so that way as soon as I push something out, you guys are able to come right back to the channel and not miss anything. Also encourage y'all please to share the content with your Lions friends and family members. Share it here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you can with everybody and anybody that you can. The more we can share it, the greater the channel grows, the greater the channel spreads. And with that being said, again, I just want to say to everybody, you guys are an absolutely amazing community. I'm thankful for each and every one of y'all. You guys are awesome. And I also want to say, hope you all have something in your life that makes you happy. Hope you all have something that makes you smile. And I hope you all enjoyed the content. And with that, God bless And until the next time we meet, I'll see y'all in the next episode.